Welcome. In this video, I'll demonstrate for you how to make and finalize status summaries for your class. As we approach the 60th day of school, kindergarten teachers will be getting into the online platform to make status summaries from the evidences that they've entered and then finalize those status summaries. And this video will walk you through the process to do so. As you can see, I've logged in to the NC K3 Formative Assessment Process platform, and I'm here at the home page. My home page looks just a little different than yours does because I'm working in the training platform, but the process for creating and finalizing status summaries is the same. So I'm going to start out by clicking the Status Summary tab. And when I get there, I'll see a list of the students in my class. You can make status summaries for individual students in your class, but today I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make and finalize status summaries for the entire class at the same time. So I'm going to click By Class. And when I do that, I'll be brought to a screen where I can see the 5 domains of learning and then each of the construct progressions within those domains. So to start out with, I want to make status summaries for my students in the Approaches to Learning domain, the engagement and self-selected activities construct progression that we're using in kindergarten. So I'm going to click Engagement and Self-Selected Activities, and that takes me to a page where I can see the construct progression. And then if I scroll down, I can see each of my students listed under the construct progression and a little file folder that indicates that I have some evidence for that student at that particular skill step. So I see what evidence I have here. I'm just going to scroll across so that I can see the most advanced pieces of evidence that I have for each of my students. It's important to remember that when we are making and finalizing status summaries, that we're indicating the last skill step, the most advanced skill step that a child has progressed to. So we're not averaging all of the evidences that we've entered into the platform for a particular student, but instead we're indicating the most advanced skill that we have evidence for each student. And I can see on this particular progression that I have James, Joe, Karen, and Sally all at skill step D. I have Harry and Lucy at skill step C. I'm going to indicate that those are the status summaries that I'm making by just clicking the little circle next to that file folder. And then once I've clicked all the circles for all of the students in my class, I'll click Save and Close. And doing so will bring me back to the screen with the domains of learning and the construct progressions. And you can see now that I've indicated status summaries for each of my students, I've got a Finalize button. So once I've got all those status summaries indicated, I can click Finalize, and the status summaries will be finalized. And you can see using this key over here, when the status summaries are final, you'll get that little green circle with the check mark next to that particular domain. Now, I'd like to point out that once you finalize your status summaries, you'll get this Unfinalize button at the bottom of your screen, and that will allow you to unfinalize what you've done if for whatever reason you need to make some changes in the status summaries that you indicated. Now, the next thing I'd like to demonstrate for you is how to make and finalize status summaries in the domains that have more than one construct progression for the kindergarten entry assessment. So I'm going to go to the Health and Physical Development domain, and here I have opted into all 3 of the KEA construct progressions: grip and manipulation, hand dominance, and crossing midline. So what I'll do to start is go to the grip and manipulation construct progression, and again, just make an indication for each of my students as to where the most advanced skill step along the progression. So I've got Harry, Joe, Karen, Lucy, and Sally here at skill step E. And I see that James is here at skill step B. And that simply means that the next time I'm working with James, I want to make sure to um, provide some activities for him that allow him to work toward this skill step C. In the meantime, I'm going to, now that I have indicated a status summary for each child in this particular construct progression, I'm going to click Next. That'll take me to the next progression in this domain, which is hand dominance. And again, let me just scroll across. I see that these are my most advanced skill steps for each of my students on this particular progression. So again, I'll indicate each of these. This time I'll click Save and Close. That'll bring me back to the screen. You'll notice that I don't have the Finalize button available to me yet. And that's because I have not made status summaries for any of my students in the crossing midline progression at this point. So I'm going to click on that progression. I'm going to scroll across and I see I have quite a bit of evidence here for my students under skill step C. For this particular progression, it could be that I observed all of my students at one time doing something like um, dancing along to a song with hand motions that allow them to cross midline. I see that Harry is here at skill step B, and again, that just helps me know that I'm going to want to work with him a little more on this particular skill. So once I've indicated those status summaries for each of my students, I'll go down here and click Save and Close. This brings me back to the screen with all of our domains of learning, and you'll see now I've got that Finalize button. So I'm going to click Finalize here, and then all of my status summaries in the health and physical development domain for all the construct progressions in that domain are finalized. If for some reason you don't get the Finalize button at some point, you'll just want to go back and check and make sure that you have made a status summary for each of the students in your class in each of the domains that you're opted into for that particular, or each of the construct progressions that you're opted into for that particular domain. And once you do that, you'll receive the Finalize button at the bottom of your screen that you can click on. I hope that this video has been helpful to you.